So we're going to talk this week about it was July 4th, 2005, where Shawn Michaels hit the super kick on Hulk Hogan, turning on his partner, and that began the summer where Shawn Michaels built up to his SummerSlam match with Hogan. Finn, I mean, from when he came back in 2002, which was SummerSlam 2002, through to his retirement at WrestleMania in 2010, this was the only time he was heel for 6 weeks. And he properly, and he was phenomenal. I mean, the possibilities of what he could have done in that run if he had done that character are just, you could salivate over how good it would have been.
Oh, I remember. I remember putting Shawn Michaels on the cover of issue 134 of Power Slam, and we did a 4-page article on him, and it was called "Bad Bad Man" after the John Cena, Grammy award winning, top chart topping single. But yeah, we did like a piece just really inspired by Michaels' temporary heel turn, specifically for the match with Hulk Hogan that main evented SummerSlam that year. And that was another smash hit on pay-per-view. Did over 500,000 buys, if memory serves me correctly. Huge hit on pay-per-view. And so much of the credit has to go to Michaels, just healing it up and just really kind of going in. I wouldn't say going into business for himself, but there's a lot of work shoot comments there, wasn't there? When he's doing
because
of him.
Yeah, because Shawn wanted to do babyface versus babyface, but Hogan insisted on heel versus babyface, so Shawn kind of tapped into that old Shawn Michaels. You can see him as Hulk Hogan on Larry King when he was flexing away. I mean, we should mention that at SummerSlam, Hogan didn't take a bump for 12 minutes. But the best part of the match...
He was just being economical with his bumps. That's all. He was showing the young'uns how to work. That's all it was.
He should be commended. Young Bucks take note. But my favourite bit is, of course, because Shawn Michaels did an amazing job throughout this whole program, and he just didn't like working with Hogan. He thought Hogan was... He just didn't like working with him. So in the match, because Hogan was going over, they were supposed to do a 3-match series. It got changed to 1 because Hogan didn't want to lose to Michaels. So in the match, Shawn had enough, and Shawn decided when he got the big boot to flip like 3 times and turn it into this big comedy thing. And the unfortunate thing was he was in there with the Ultimate Politician. Yeah. Now, I've not counted it, but I think Hogan waited about 20 seconds before he hit the leg drop. Yeah. And I mean, it's such a great political moment to watch between 2 guys who knew how to do it better than anybody else, and they were both just fucking with each other live on pay-per-view in the main event. It was amazing. It was so good.
It was, and what always cracked me up about it was that Hogan won the match. Hogan decided there was not going to be a rematch. Hogan probably got the biggest payoff. Hogan did that little stunt at the end there where he, laid Michaels out and then took forever to pin him or whatever it was. And he obviously did it deliberately because he was well aware of what Michaels was doing in the match with all those ridiculous, absurd bumps that he was taking, throwing himself all over the place like it was some type of pantomime wrestling match. I mean, it was just like absolutely, just like so absurd and so ridiculous and preposterous what Michaels was doing. But Hogan was just biding his time, and he had his little revenge at the end there. He was the one who scored the pin. Michaels did the job. Hogan disappeared, and then Michaels did his little promo on, was it Raw the next night? Absolutely, fans were chanting Hogan, weren't they? And then did he say, and he needs another payoff, he ain't coming back? I think it was a comment he made or something like that.
And then he went right into a babyface feud against Chris Masters. And you're like, oh,
and it was just like Michaels was just so annoyed that he'd been outsmarted, outplayed, outgunned by the master. And he was sticking around and Hogan was off again. So it was a strange time, but we've got to, I think, be so thankful to Michaels for what he gave us in the run up to that match. And, and all credit to him. He didn't really want to turn heel, but he did. He committed to it. And he proved that he could do it better than anyone. And that, as you alluded to earlier, Kenny, was the great tragedy here, is that he gave us this glimpse of what he can do or what he could do. And like, why didn't we get to see it again? I mean, that would have just been such a treat had he turned heel again for another program. And he didn't, sadly.